Hi everyone, it's Danny. Today we're gonna hear Wade's story, and I have to tell you, this story really touched me because it speaks about love, about friendship, and about the most important people one can have in his life. Dear Danny, it took a long time for me to write this, and it's a very emotional tale. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have looked forward to sharing it with you. My orchid story started many years ago. It was 1977, and I was 23. I started working at a facility for the mentally handicapped as a vocational trainer. One of the jobs that I was assigned was to assist the person who ran the greenhouse. I realized that I really liked working with the plants, mostly vegetables and annuals, that we sold there. The person who trained me also had a commercial greenhouse at his home. As a personal project, I started gloxinias from seed, which he agreed to buy if I could bring them into flower. As the weather turned cooler, I realized that my parents' carport would not provide the protection that was needed for the gloxinias. My dad and I talked it over, and we decided to build an 8 feet by 8 feet greenhouse that would be heated by an electrical heater. Since I had this spacious greenhouse, I started to grow other plants that struck my interest. A psychologist at the facility started talking to me about the orchids he grew under lights. Before long, I acquired a couple of orchids and became fascinated with how different they were from anything else I'd ever seen. In a couple of years, there was a 16 feet by 16 feet addition to my little greenhouse. Dad spent quite a bit of time with me in the greenhouse, and it brought our friendship closer. The years passed and I eventually married, and we purchased a home of our own. Dad took care of my orchids for me for 2 years until I was able to build a lean-to structure on the south side of our house. For many years I grew orchids in that greenhouse, but sadly our marriage was not to last. I was able to find an apartment for me and my son. There was not much light in it for orchids though, so for the first time in over 20 years I had no orchids. I dreamed of being in a greenhouse filled with callias and dendrobiums. I could smell the special, buoyant atmosphere that is in an orchid greenhouse, but it was all my memories. The years went by and I eventually was able to retire. My time was taking up more and more with caring for my father. Mom passed and Dad was alone and lonely, and becoming unable to take care of his house. One morning I received a call. It was the hospital. Dad had fallen and had a compound fracture in his leg. It would take several months of rehab in a nursing facility before I could take him and become his 24/7 caregiver. We talked about many things, one of them being my orchids and a greenhouse. We reminisced about our happy times that we spent together in the greenhouse I built at his house, which sadly collapsed from a terrible blizzard one year. Dad told me when he passed that I should build my greenhouse. He died and left me some money. I began plans to build a greenhouse. The difference was that before, I was able to do my own construction. Now, at 60, my physical abilities just didn't permit me to do this. I decided to purchase a small commercial greenhouse, which is now almost finished. I am in the greenhouse and growing orchids. There is still work to do, completing benches and incorporating a control unit that will handle all the heating and cooling automatically, but it will get done. It has been a long path to where I am today. And through it all, I have had the love and understanding of my dad. His friendship is still with me every time I walk into my greenhouse, because without his encouragement and help, I would never have started down this wonderful road. Thanks, Dad. Dear Wade, thank you so much for sharing this story with us, and I'm really happy I can share your father's memory and legacy with the rest of our community. And you know what? I kinda envy you for your greenhouse right now. Call me naive, but when I will be your age, I would rather have memories, legacies, and a lively bunch of orchids rather than a lifeless pile of money and nothing worthwhile to spend it on. And your story reminded me of just that. So thank you again for sharing it with us. If you guys have a story that you'd like to share with us, please feel free to send it to me at the email address myorchidstory@gmail.com. Of course, you can also send me pictures of your orchids. Thank you for watching. If you have questions related to orchids, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe for more orchid videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!